Hey everybody, this is Perch. Let's get right to this mail. It's discounts in shops. It says, "Hello, Perch. I hope you're feeling better." You know, it's up and down. Recently, I was faced with a dilemma, and I think your experience as a shop owner might lend some insight. While working out of town, I visited a small bookshop that had a really cool graphic novel section containing a very nice selection of fringe, oddball titles I never see in most shops, as well as some of the more mundane stuff too. I spotted volume one and two of Tezukomi, a comic tribute to Osamu Tezuka from loads of comic creators. I wanted to buy them, but I decided to see if I could order the set at my local shop since I would get a 30% discount from my LCS. If these books were not $25 a piece, I would have bought them on site, but keeping some cash in my pocket felt like a better idea. I want to support some small independent shops, but sometimes the idea of saving a few of those hard to come by dollars, especially for something as frivolous as comic books, really controls where my dollar ends up? What is your opinion on store discounts? In all honesty, I'll probably go back and get them since I'm here for the rest of the year. Thanks for keeping up the show. Uh, you know, First of all, thank you for the mail and discounts in general. I mean, look, it's actually we can go to why, and this will seem somewhat obvious, why comic shops offer discounts in the first place, and they offer those because they're trying to keep and maintain business in their store. They know as a brick and mortar retail shop that it's a lot easier to order stuff in many cases off Amazon. You could sit there on the toilet and basically order books and that'd be one very long crap, but by the time you get up, they'll be at your front door, and that's easier. It's better convenience. I mean, the challenge is you can't really, as a brick and mortar retail store, you can't attack Amazon on convenience factor. It is you just have to admit it's very much easier to get it from an online seller like that. Now, in your case, you're in another town and you spotted a small bookstore. For the more obscure graphic novels, for stuff like that, yeah, the challenge there is, every shop has limited shelf space or limited ability to take inventory, and inventory is expensive. If you're buying, say these books that have a much smaller audience than, say, keeping a hardcover graphic novel of Batman Hush in stock. That's something that's more reliable seller from a wider audience. So keeping the more niche or unique stuff in shop means you're paying cash. It then goes on the shelf. You're paying wholesale, and you're hoping that somebody comes in and will buy more. That will take a while. It could take a long while, for that to actually happen. And so it's the outlay of cash in the hopes, that something will happen. It's why the whole topic of returnability is such a big deal, because comic shops, and I mean not comic shops, but grocery stores, gas stations, places that had returnability felt a lot more comfortable with just having a huge stock, knowing that they were basically insured, that if the comic was bought, they could return it and get the bulk of their money back. And that's that's the challenge, and you don't really have that for these books. So you're taking a risk. Now, so comic shops offer discounts as a way to say, yeah, we know it's more convenient to go online, and we know there's other places to spend dollars, and in some cases they also know that hey, you're probably going to get a better price if you're going to Amazon, which is the other tough part. So the discount is a way to kind of nullify that price and also to create longer term loyalty. It's why you see discount plans of, you're seeing more and more shops do things like, buy a comic today, and if you come back and buy another one within a week, we'll give you 30% off or something like that. It's the idea is they want to build up a habit of you coming back to the shop. So it's a smart thing. It's a necessary thing. I mean, the factor about this is they have to do this in order to remain competitive. Comic shops, basically, their big goal, or their entire draw, is that they've got a unique spot, a place that is you get to immerse in comics, you get to walk in, you get to see comics are all around you, and and in theory, you're buying from a friendly face, somebody who shares the same interests as you, as opposed to some kind of faceless robotic corporation. And that, I mean, that's the big pull. The big pull is, I've said on videos before, is experience. Discount is a way to kind of hook you to get you in, but experience is really what's going to keep you there. So, in terms of, you're traveling, you have this book. Look, I would always say this: if you have a comic shop that you love, you've got people who treat you well, that experience is working for you, then absolutely I would, call up or email your local comic shop back home and say, "Hey, I'm out of town. I'm out of town for a while. I want this book. And they're offering, I can buy it right now, but I'd rather give the money to you." The comic shop knows you're trying to save some cash, and that's nothing wrong with that. But I think calling up your comic shop and say, I'd rather give my hard-earned money to you. Would you be willing to order this book, or can you get it for me, and then I'll pick it up when I get there. It's a good thing to do if your comic shop experience is good. If they treat you well, if they look out for you, then pay it back. Give them your money. It really boils down to something I think very simple, which is we want to instill good behavior in everyone, in creators, in fans, and customers, and shops, and everything else. So if you have a shop that treats you with respect, gives you good discounts, makes it worth your money, then keep shopping there. You want to support that so it stays alive. Because the reality is, a comic shop that treats you well likely likely treats most people well. They're not just treating you well. You're not the only one who's getting good customer experience. It's part of the culture of that store. And so, you want that to survive. So that's what I would do. Now, of course, if you're in a place and you're going to be, several months, away from town, and this is, you want something to read. It's not like you're betraying your comic shop by buying something in the moment so you have something to read. I mean, of course, that's okay too. And also, for something that's more obscure and more niche, I think it's definitely worth checking with your local comic shop, not just assuming that when you get home, they'll be able to order for you, because in some cases it's hard to order this stuff. Your comic shop may want to help you, but can't. And I mean, the worst part would be, you discover, like, you wait to order it until you get home. Your comic shop, doesn't have an easy way of ordering it. And so they have to go and buy it, higher price than what they would normally do. And then, maybe you're getting your discount, or maybe the comic shop can't offer it to you because they had to pay, above their normal wholesale prices. And then, like, everybody loses. You wait, the shop that had it in the first place doesn't get your money, and the comic shop pays more, so they get less of a margin. And like everybody's a loser in that scenario. So just I would write and check, and see how you can support a lot of this stuff, and take it from there. That's the best thing you could do. But otherwise, discounts are just a way to buy your loyalty, and save you a few bucks in the process. And I mean, goddamn, it's expensive out there. So you should, there. It's not like people have just money floating around everywhere to spend. So I think steering where your dollars get you the most mileage is a good thing. But that's kind of the dynamics behind all of that. If I were you, I would definitely try and support the shop that did well by you, and failing that, then get the comic book you want. No hard and fast rule, but for all this new shop that you went into is also good, and maybe they deserve a little bit of love too. I don't know. But the best, kind of like I've answered in other videos as well. The best behavior with your comic shop is just be open, be straightforward. And if it's a good shop, they'll appreciate that. And I had a customer who would come in, and he would travel a lot, and he would always be really sheepish. Like, he'd like, "Well, I picked up a comic somewhere else, not in your store." And he always get really awkward about it. And it was then my job as the guy running the shop to go, "Yeah, hey, I'm not buying your servitude. You spend your money where you would spend your money, and don't make it weird for you." I've seen some shops. I'm in some retailer forums, and there's a thread, a slightly horrifying thread, of a bunch of shop owners. Is like, what do you do if you find out that one of your customers is cheating on you with another shop? And people are like, "I would dump his pull box immediately. Just like go to war with this customer." I'm like, "Oh man, these are the guys that are going to go out of business." I'm sorry. you know, people buy things on a whim sometimes. There's nothing wrong with that. So if you treat them well, then they'll route their dollars back to you when they get the chance. It's treat people well, get treated well. It's crazy, right? Anyway, thanks very much for writing, and thanks for listening.